Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. That is right, guys, and today I am so excited because I finally got my It Follows 4K in 4K box set in from Second Sight. So how I like to do the Second Sight reviews, I like to make these an event review. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go and we're gonna unbox this thing. We're going to go through every single piece of the contents that are in this packaging, and then we're going to watch it, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give my thoughts on the movie, which I've seen multiple times. I love this movie. The transfer, the audio, the special features, and all that good stuff. So if you guys are ready to do it, let's get into it and unbox the Second Sight 4K release of It Follows. All right, we are over here at the unboxing table getting ready to unbox the 4K box set edition of this Second Sight 4K of It Follows, and I am so excited. So if you're not familiar with Second Sight, they are a UK physical media company that is really, no pun intended, second to none when it comes to their packaging. And right here on the J card, we got It Follows. We got the Second Sight symbol down there at the bottom. We had this little UK sticker, not sticker, but little badge that they put on all the releases, which I don't like, but it's okay because when you take this off, it's not there anymore. So that's fine. And right here, you can see the spine. It Follows. I love the blues. I love the way it looks. I'll go ahead and show you the back real quick before I take the J card off. And very simple premise, guys. A young woman is followed by a terrifying supernatural force after a sexual encounter with her new boyfriend. So very cool premise, very different, very original story. And we'll go ahead and look at the special features right here, which I do think there's a new audio commentary. And then you got some new interviews as well. So I can't wait to dive into all this stuff, guys. I am so excited. Limited edition contents, 150-page book, which we'll get into here in a second. All right, and then you got the casting list down there with the specs down there at the bottom. This is a film from 2014. Ooh, we do have Dolby Atmos. I cannot wait to hear the Disaster Piece score in Dolby Atmos. This is going to be awesome. I cannot wait, guys. Blu-ray disc is region B, so just know that. Now the 4K UHD is region free, as most 4Ks are, and this does have Dolby Vision. So yeah, all the bells and whistles. Second Sight pulled out all the stops. So we'll go ahead and take that off. Look at the front again. I just love it. You got Maca Monroe's beautiful face right there in the blues, in the orange right there. It just looks so good. This is exactly how I imagined It Follows 4K release from Second Sight looking like. And I called this like 2 years ago. I said I would love Second Sight to do It Follows. Right after they did The Guest and I reviewed that, I said I want them to do It Follows. And they did it. So thank you, Second Sight. Thank you so much. All right, and then on the back, very simple. You just have the car with them having sex in the back from the poster of the actual movie. So cool stuff there. And let's go ahead and dig into this box. Let's go ahead and take out the big booklet that you know, nobody will probably care to read, but I am going to try to read a little bit of it at some point. I've actually heard some good things about what's in the actual book, but oh, I love this image as well. So freaking cool. Her in the wheelchair tied up. So awesome. This movie is great, guys. It's one of the few movies from the past like 10 years, horror movies, that's actually pretty damn scary. And I appreciate it for that. All right, now let's go through this book a little bit, see what we got. We got some images, we got some text. There's a lot of essays in here about the movie. I've heard some good stuffs in here. So, ooh, that's from right at the beginning of the movie. Good stuff, guys. Ooh, I can smell it too. I can smell that physical media goodness. There's just nothing like it. It smells just like Arrow. Second Sight, these big box sets. Just the way they smell when you take them out. There's just nothing like it, guys. I love physical media so much. Ooh, I love this shot. This is a great shot from the movie. Her above the pool. Yeah, this I definitely want to, you know, read into this a little bit. I love this movie, guys. Like I've seen it a lot, and it's just one of my favorites. So this is a dream release for me that I am very excited for. All right, we'll go ahead and rip that off. I'm always excited to get Second Sight in, but when it's for a movie that I actually like legitimately really love, that makes it a lot better. And then you got these art cards, which are very cool. Nice art cards. All good stuff, guys. And then, you know, Maca Monroe, stunning. as always. And let's go ahead and get into this and take a look at these discs. So you open this up, and it's the car again, the iconic image from the poster. And then you got the Blu-ray right here, that's region B, and then you got the 4K with great artwork on that. And I don't think there's anything behind it. Pretty plain, but yeah, guys, I love it. I love the packaging. I love the big 150-page booklet. I think it's awesome. I'm excited. This is honestly, it's comparable to the Guest for sure. I think the Guest had a nice booklet in it as well. So very cool release. Like I said, I'm excited to watch it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go watch it. I'm going to dig into the supplemental material, maybe listen to a little bit of the commentary, watch all the special features, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about it. All right, and we're over here. I'm doing a little filming on the title screen. I'm about ready to watch it. I am, like I said, so excited. I just can't hide it. It follows on 4K. I'll be back to talk about it soon, guys. All right, I'm back, and I just watched It Follows on 4K, of course. I watched all of the special features. There's almost 2 hours of brand new interviews and special features in this set, and I listened to a little bit of the audio commentary. I kind of switched back and forth. The good thing about watching a movie that you've seen so many times, like a new 4K scan or whatever, of a movie that you know very well, you can actually switch back and forth, and you're not going to miss anything because you know the movie so well. But of course, I wanted to keep myself immersed in the actual film, so I didn't do it too often, but I did want to listen to a little bit of that new commentary. And I actually, guys, read like 15 pages of this book right here. For those of y'all that say, you're never going to read that book, Ken, what are you doing? You don't need that book. Who needs that book? It's useless. There's a lot of cool stuff about this movie, and to be honest, like, I just love this movie so much. I want to learn as much as I can about it because I just find the film endlessly fascinating. This, to me, guys, is one of the greatest American horror films of all time. It's for sure top 5 horror films of this century, the 21st century. For me, it's definitely top 5 of the 2010s. It is just a landmark horror film, in my opinion. I feel like people are going to... I don't feel like it yet gets the respect that it deserves, but I feel like people are going to revere this film like they revere a Shining, a Halloween, a Psycho, an Exorcist, like one of those types of movies. It very much feels like when you're done watching, I remember watching for the first time, like back in 2014 or 2015 when it came out. I just thought to myself, damn, that is a horror masterpiece. Like, that is one of the best horror films I've ever seen. It just has such an atmosphere, such a vibe to it. It's scary, it's tense, it just has all the hallmarks of a great horror film. It's got interesting performances, it's got interesting direction by David Robert Mitchell. I just think he does such a great job of this movie, just kind of, you know, providing that atmosphere, that eerie atmosphere, that dreamlike quality that he brings to this movie. All of his movies that I've seen, you know, Under the Silver Lake has a very dreamlike quality to it, to where it's very surreal. You don't know what's real, you don't know what's not real. In this movie, it's definitely more grounded, but there are moments where you're like, what is going on right now? These characters and these performers in this setting and the people in this setting are not acting like normal people in real life. And of course, it takes place in Detroit, in a suburban neighborhood, and you got these kids, you know, that are kind of living out their everyday lives. They're not really doing much. They're just kind of lounging around. But it feels like it could either be set in like the 80s or modern day. And then somebody's got this like clamshell phone thing that they're reading. So, you know, it's like a more recent technology. I don't know exactly what decade that's from, probably the 2000s or something, mid 2000s. So, you know, it's modern day, but then they're watching like movies on like these old TVs from like the 70s and 80s, and they're like stacked up on top of each other. They're watching like black and white films. So there's a lot of like weird stuff going on in this film that just doesn't feel like something that normal everyday teenagers would do or watch in the modern era. So it provides this real like surreal atmosphere to it. And getting into the story a little bit, it's such an interesting, just endlessly fascinating premise that you can just look at in so many different ways. I don't feel like you can pin this premise down and say, this is what the director was trying to say or do. That's the theme, that's the message. There's one clear message, and that's like, sex is bad. Unprotected sex is bad. Like, you know, watch out for STDs. stuff like that. But I don't even think that that's the actual message of the film. They're more or less using sex and sexually transmitted diseases, or in this case, a sexually transmitted curse, as kind of a metaphor for what the film is really about. What is the film about? I don't even know if the writer-director truly knows what this film is about. But that's kind of what's cool about it, is that it's not really explained, but you understand the mechanics of the world. Like, the rules are explained very well. There is that exposition involved where they kind of explain everything. They lay everything out so you understand what's going on. You understand the rules of the world, and it all works together, but you don't know the whys. You don't know why it's happening. It's seemingly a entity, some kind of ghost that's following around this person that gets infected or cursed. So when someone has the curse, they have to pass it on by having sex with them. And it's very effective because it's laid out so perfectly by the director and writer. You can tell that they just understand what they're doing, and it's very clear. So you understand what's going on. You can get into it. You can get drawn in. You understand the stakes, and the stakes are established like at the very beginning of the film, which I love. Like, you understand, oh, this thing's dangerous. Like, you know what it can do when it catches you. So you have that fear the entire movie, and that tension is there, that suspense is there of what's going to happen when this thing finally catches our main girl character. And so the stakes are just super high in this film because of that. And you feel those stakes and that weight throughout the entire film. So I just love this movie. And then you throw on top of it, you know, on top of the incredible atmosphere and tension and stuff, you know, a lot of that is due to the score in this film by Disasterpiece, which is just excellent and just provides such a mood to the rest of this movie. All the kids in this movie, I love, especially Maika Monroe. I think she does so much to kind of take her character to this very like dark, tormented place. And it helps because she was kind of dark and tormented from the beginning of the movie. You don't really know why. You know, maybe she lost her father. There's kind of things that go into, you know, either her father abandoned her or he died, whatever. They show the mom, but they don't really show the mom, which is another thing I really love about the film, is she's a character in the movie, but she's not really a character. It's kind of all from the kid's perspective, and you see the parents and the adults around, but they're not really a part of the film, which I think is another really cool thing about it. But yeah, I love Maika Monroe. She just plays this character. It's such a subtle performance that I feel like most people might not pick up on how good it actually is, but she's just fantastic in this movie. And I love her in this, and I love her in The Guest, and I'm so happy that Second Sight gave her the 4K treatment twice with these two incredible you know, releases. And getting into the transfer, so this movie was shot digitally. You know, David Robert Mitchell said if they had the money, he would have loved to have shot it on film, but it was shot digitally. And so this is a 4K restoration. It has Dolby Vision, it has HDR10. And guys, Second Sight don't miss. They just don't miss. This 4K transfer is absolutely beautiful. I would put it up there with the Drive 4K, and that's kind of the bar for Second Sight 4K, for me at least. Like, I thought The Witch looked incredible as well, but this is just amazing. As far as like modern day 4K restorations, like this is up there with one of the best. Like, I thought that this looked so fantastic across the board. It's such a visually beautiful movie anyway. Like, it has great cinematography. Some of the shots in this film, I'm thinking of Maika Monroe when she's looking in that big pool and you see all the blood coming up and mixed with the blues and the reds, and just stuff like that all throughout this film that just looked beautiful, was perfectly highlighted with that HDR. Now, it's a very gloomy film. It is a very gloomy film. There's a lot of grays, there's a lot of blues, but like those were highlighted so well, and you could just see everything so well. The contrast level, the black levels were perfect. The contrast between the darks and the whites, and there's just such rich depth to this transfer. I just cannot overemphasize what 4K and HDR can do. Is just incredible, because when you watch this on Blu-ray, and I did pop in this Blu-ray for a little bit. Now, the Blu-ray looks fine. Like I said, if you just want to watch this movie, it's fine. But if you want to go that extra mile, like the Blu-ray, to me, when I go back and watch a Blu-ray after I've just seen the movie with a great stellar 4K restoration, it looks extremely muted. It just looks very bright, just too bright. Like, I love kind of the darker hue that 4K puts over the picture quality and just kind of highlights and enhances all those colors, but kind of makes them a little bit darker, a little bit richer, and kind of a little bit more natural. Like, it feels like real life when you're watching a 4K. And when you watch a Blu-ray, it kind of just looks like a picture. And it is a picture. It's a picture on a TV, but it looks very flat, very muted. But when you watch a good 4K and those black levels are firing on all cylinders and everything's just working as it's supposed to with a great HDR, grade and also great Dolby Vision, there's just such depth and you feel like you can reach out and you can touch it. And there's such a weight to the actual film. And you're just like, I am watching cinema as it was originally intended to be watched. And it's so incredible what they did with this 4K. It looks outstanding. There's a scene where the girl and the guy, where Maca Monroe's character and the boy that she meets in the beginning are in a theater and they're looking back, and you see like the red curtain behind them. And that scene just looks incredible. That shot looks amazing. And those skin tones contrasted with the red in the background, it all looks incredible. But all the clothing looks incredible. Just, the gloomy, bluish, like tint and hue to this film all throughout just looks amazing in 4K with that HDR. Just all the colors look amazing all throughout the film. The skin tones are incredible. The skin definition, the detail, just detail everywhere in this movie. This is one of those movies where you're always looking out for the thing that's following our main character or the character that's in trouble in the movie. You're always looking for something lurking in the distance, lurking in the dark, lurking in the background somewhere. And you can just make everything out. So it just makes it a lot more tense because you're thinking you saw something, but did you see something? But you can see everything a lot clearer now. So it just adds to that tension. So this, to me, it's a perfect restoration by Second Sight. I thought they did such an incredible job with this release. Incredible 4K, guys. I've said this a lot about stuff, but this is definitely top 5 4Ks of the year for me. First off, it's a dream release, and I just love this movie. So it's naturally just going to be high up there, but they delivered on this 4K, guys. It looks absolutely outstanding. So getting into the sound, they upgraded the sound here with a Dolby Atmos mix, and I didn't know I needed It Follows with Dolby Atmos, but after hearing the Disaster Piece score in Atmos, and I'm just listening to this on a sound bar, guys. Like I have an LG sound bar, and I've got the subwoofer, and it simulates the Dolby Atmos, so I don't have that full setup. But just when that score blares in and just some of the beats that it has throughout the film, it's very subtle. It's very subtle in some moments, but it just kind of blares in and you feel that bass. And I can just feel it. I can feel it in my chest when I watch this movie. And I watched it at home today alone with nobody else here with me, so I could crank it up, all the way up. And it sounded wonderful, and I just love the score. It's one of my favorite film scores, and when it really starts kicking in, you can just feel it, like I said, in your chest, reverberating off of the walls. As for the rest of the film, do I need the Dolby Atmos? Probably not. It's not a big, like, sound-heavy movie. There are moments where I feel like it truly shines, like when the girl's running out of her house at the very beginning of the movie, you could hear her heels on the sidewalk, like, very well, so I could kind of hear that around me as I watched it. So I thought that kind of stood out. And there's some other moments here and there, but really you want the sound for the Disaster Piece score because it just sounds incredible in Dolby Atmos. So sound is perfect. Getting into the special features here. So the interesting thing is, guys, I want to talk about this a little bit. So on the Blu-ray, this actually has a special feature with the composer, Disaster Piece, who I was just talking about. So it's a 4-minute interview, and that interview is not on this Second Sight version. So, and there's also a critics commentary hosted by Scott Weinberg. And I think that might be on here because there's a couple people involved in that they list on the back for the commentary, and it's not a new commentary. There is a new commentary, but there's 2 commentaries. There's an older one and a newer one. So I don't know if that's the same commentary on here that's on this, but there's like 9 or 10 people that it showed when I put in the Blu-ray and kind of switched to that option. So I don't know if that's the same commentary. It's kind of like a critics commentary. There's a bunch of them, like a round table setting, and you can choose to turn it on when you're watching the movie. So I feel like maybe that's just for this Blu-ray, but there are special features, with that interview with the Disaster Piece guy that is not on this release. So there are some features on this Blu-ray that are not on this Second Sight. So I just wanted to point that out. But the features that are on here, guys, there are 5 brand new, incredible interviews, including one with the guy from Disaster Piece. It's a new interview, and it's like 12 or 13 minutes. But there's an interview with the main boy in the film. who I'm trying to, find his name right now. Sorry, guys. Keir Gilchrist, I think is his name. There's a new interview with him. There's a new interview with Olivia Lucardi. There's a new interview with producer David Kaplan. And these are all great, like 20-minute interviews. Some of them, I think one of them is like 25. Some of them are like 13 or 14, but they're all very lengthy interviews. There's an interview with, like I said, the Disaster Piece guy, Rich Rearland. And there's an interview with production designer Michael Perry, which is a very interesting interview because he goes into the setting of the film. They actually shot this film in Detroit. So I think it just adds to the overall like look and setting and aesthetic of the actual film to actually have it shot in this town. Like I said, very low budget movie. But he kind of goes into the set design and the decision-making process and why they chose to shoot it there. And then there's a new video essay. It follows the architecture of loneliness. And I thought that this was fantastic as well. This was like 11 or 12 minutes. And it just kind of dives deeper into the thought processes and some of the themes around this film. So just an incredible film. I love this movie. It's just one of my all-time favorites. And the special features are incredible. The sound is incredible. The transfer is one of the best of the years. The movie I love. The packaging is amazing. I spent $55 to get this, and every single one of those dollars that I spent for this release felt well worth it. Now, I don't know if this is still available. I know it's not still available on Diabolic, and I don't think it's still available. At least the big box set is not available on Second Sight. I think that Grindhouse may still have some copies. Maybe Orbit does. You're going to have to check. If I find them, I'll link them down below. But I think you can still get the regular 4K release, which of course you're not going to get the booklet and all the extra additives and all that stuff, but you're still going to get the movie and the features and all the great parts of this release as well. You're just not going to get the booklet. And all the special features are on the 4K disc. So you don't have to pop in the Blu-ray, which again is Region B. So I didn't watch the actual Blu-ray in here. I think it's a new 4K scan on the Blu-ray, but I would have to come in here and put it in my region free player, and I just didn't have time to do that. So I just watched the 4K. It's incredible. This is an incredible release. It's a dream release for me. So obviously I'm going to be super high on this release. I absolutely loved it. I think it's probably my favorite release, overall release of the entire year. I just loved it. What do you want me to say? I love It Follows, and I love this release by Second Sight. Thank you all so much for watching this review. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on those bell notifications for all future videos, and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.